Hi, welcome to Yellow Slate, your very own school search engine that helps you find the best schools for your kid based on various filters and parameters.
Today we have with us Mr. Vishal, whose kid is studying in Amrita International Vidyalayam, which is located in Bengaluru. To get to know more details about the school and his experience so far, let's have a conversation with him. Hello, sir. So
Hi.
to begin with, what made you to choose this school in particular among the best schools that are available in Bangalore?
See, there were a lot of criteria, I believe, right from proximity to the kind of school that I was looking for. These were the criteria when we started looking for the school. But I think the main reason why we chose this school is purely because we found a school with a modern day learning and infusing the Indian cultural values. So in the day where I have seen kids hesitating even to do a namaste or a namaskar, they feel like kind of ashamed or very shy. I thought it was very important for my kid to have that basic sense of pride in the kind of culture that we possess as India, a Bharat. So that was my primary reason. And a lot of things started falling in place. So where I live, there are about 8 to 9 schools which are in the proximity. This one turned out to be closest. My basic requirement of how I infuse the cultural value that also met. So rather than deciding to put my daughter in a play school, I started her schooling directly at Amrita while she was about 3 years. She has been studying since Mont 1. So now she has gone from Mont 1, Mont 2, Mont 3, now to grade 1. So yes, my primary reason has been the cultural values that they bring with a modern day learning.
Got it, sir. So what's that your kid liking the most about the school now?
I believe bunch of things. Of course, the school takes care of whether the kid is eating the food in time or not. They also have a facility. They provide the food which is prepared in their, what to say, vicinity in their proper vigilance. But we send food from our side only, but they ensure that the kid is eating the food. So right from there to interactions with the different teachers, learning new things, getting playtimes, all these things fall in place. Another things probably for which it's just a coincidence is that a lot of the friends who are in the vicinity who lives in our apartment are also there. So I think it just again things when they're falling in place. So my kids enjoy going there because I believe at this age I'm not really bothered about how much my kid is learning. Of course I want, but not from the academic perspective. But I want her to start going up, showing up to the school. Then learning and everything will automatically happen. So that is happening. So my child is happy when she's getting ready for the school. So I believe that's the best part for her.
Got it, sir. Can you share a experience where you felt like this is more like a second home rather than just a school?
There's been a lot of things. In fact, we have been associated with the Amrita school in terms of as a parent, of course. It was almost the same time a year later when Amrita school started. I think a year later, I got a daughter admission done over here. So it was like their journey getting started and my kids' journey getting started at the same time. So I think that fell in place over there. And then when, as I said, I started my kids' journey not from a play school, but directly from the school, right? So it was important that my kid loves to go to school. So of course, in the beginning, my kid was happy going to a new place. Couple of days she was fine, but started, later on I started seeing her that she wanted to be at home because a kid after a long time being with parents suddenly going to school. There I saw the teachers were really, really helpful. They would engage the kid. They would tell the kid, okay, if you're not going to the class, no problem, you sit here. So they will make her sit in let's say the in charge's room. She would say they would give her some coloring books. That's what she'd love to do. Some story books if she could read and go through in her whatever senses, right? So it was so comfortable for her that she would be given a comfort. Okay, if you don't want to go to the class, don't go to the class. But school is a place where you can be comfortable. Is a sense with such instances, small instances, but very valuable instances. That's the sense that she got. And that kept us very, very comfortable. Also, while my daughter was growing, you have those phases where the kid is becoming a little cranky and all. I believe that was very well dealt, right? With the school, the timely feedback, letting us know that the kid is not feeling very, very comfortable. She's feeling cranky. We would show up sometime and take care of her. But it was merely a couple of times in 4 years that we have visited. The rest school, the teachers and the coordinators and the charges have really taken very care, especially in the Mont side, because she has just gotten into class 1A. This experience comes from her previous 3 years for sure.
Got it, sir. So, as we know, the school offers a world class infrastructure. So, what are the kind of facilities being provided by the school, and what is that most your kid is actually enjoying to learn?
Most importantly, I see that there's a smart board which kids need to get engaged first. You may bring in any technology, but if the kid is not really engaged, is not willing to come to school, everything will fail. So I think there has been a very good infusion, in my opinion, where technology has been slowly introduced, which engages the kid. So smart board is one such idea where I see that things being explained over there. Sometimes kids are made to come and use the board. So it is not only familiarizing them with the technology, but also keeping them engaged. Concepts gets more clarified and all. I also see that there are discussions on how the new age learning of AI, robotics will also be introduced to these kids. While I'm not a fan of bringing these jargons into these kids' brain at this point in time, at the same time, there has to be a balance of making kids comfortable with these kind of technologies. Maybe not by using the jargons, but just getting them by means of some games, some concepts. So that is something that I'm really looking forward to.
Got it, sir. Can you also talk about the sports facilities being offered by the school?
Yeah, so I see that the school is providing pretty good ground in Bangalore city. Getting a school with a fairly good ground, football size ground is a luxury. You don't get it very often. So their kids are made to do athletic activities. They're taught different games, soccer, football rather, sometimes hockey. They have a swimming pool also. So my kid has been leveraging it, has been exercising. So she has gone and learned swimming. Of course, as a kid, she thought she wanted to learn swimming. After going few days, she thought she don't want to learn swimming. So all that is going on. But from the facility perspective, I think things are available. And I would say that like anything, there will be a continuous improvement, which I'm also looking forward to. I mean, in the facility, in the coaching and everything. So it's there at a very good stage, but I'm sure they'll be looking forward to take it to a next level.
Got it. So how is this ICSE curriculum actually helping your child's overall growth with the school's teaching style?
See, I'll tell you myself from ICSE background. So there were two choices when my daughter was coming out of the mod. So either I could have taken her for IB or for ICSE. A lot of people suggested to me that my daughter is like an IB kind of a curriculum, made for IB kind of a curriculum. But I chose ICSE for one very selfish reason. For if she goes in IB, then sure she has to go out of India for her further education, which I personally don't want. So that was my main reason. But more than that, ICSE, I believe, if in terms of Indian ecosystem, it basically takes you through a plethora of learning, which is theoretical to start with, but also finds its application as and when you try to move further up the ladder in the classes. That is one. Second thing is, if you're going through ICSE, most of the competitive exams, be it if she chooses to be a doctor, whether she chooses to be in defense, whether she chooses to be an engineer, whether she chooses to go in law, I believe all this would really help. ICSE basically helps you, instigates your thought process. And with a plethora of syllabus, it also kinds of puts a pressure on you, which if you see in a long run helps you to handle a lot of things. Because I have studied from ICSE, I have seen that kind of load. And nowadays I have seen that the load is reduced also. But that reduced load itself is good enough to prepare people mentally for life, for future. So that has been my take why I have chosen ICSE. And ICSE of Amrita is no different than ICSE of any other school because ICSE is a central board, right?
Yeah.
So it was not particularly ICSE of Amrita, it was ICSE board that I opted for.
Got it. So I hope the teaching style also aligning with the vision that you have for your kid.
Yes, I think good part over here is coincidentally at this point in time, the student teacher ratio is very, very healthy. If I'm not wrong, my calculation says the student teacher ratio is going to be something 1:18 or 20, something of that sort, right?
Yeah.
Which means my kid can get proper attention, more time from the teachers. So today, when I see a grade sheet, I see certain marks she's getting in standard one, or she was getting some grade till she was in bond sections and all. So I think our conversation has been largely around two things as a parent. One, if she's losing marks, okay, what are the areas? And is it because she was not understanding the subject or whether it is because of her carelessness, which is very obvious at this age. So that is one criteria that we would look for. Second, we would look for if, let's say, the grade has been lesser in, let's say somebody says in moral teaching, the kid is B, or in sports, she's B, or something of that sort. The idea is not to tell teachers that, why are you not giving A? The idea is that, okay, what is she lacking so that we can help her together. So I believe, so there has been a collaboration and teachers have been able to individually look into that. At least at this point in time, this is the case. And I hope it can continue.
Got it, sir. So, and can you also talk about how accessible are the management and faculty in case if you have any concerns or if you would like to know feedback about your kid?
Very, very accessible. In fact, I'm part of the parent advisory committee. So of course my accessibility is there. But even if when I was not a part of the advisory committee, I mean, you can walk up to the respective class teacher. Even if you are going to send your kid to the school without a prior appointment also, you could request my faculty committee of yours. Very accessible. They will come, they'll listen to you. If they are able to solve your problem, great. Otherwise, they will guide you to the coordinator or even guide you to the principal or the admin head. So all of them are very accessible from that perspective.
Got it, sir. So as you are part of the parent member committee, like you mentioned, how is it helping you in understanding parents' perspective as well so that you get the overall picture of what's actually they're thinking of?
Yeah, see, it's a very tricky role. I am a parent, right? So what happens, I am representing the parent side and my kid to the school, and to the parents I am representing the school. So I have to strike the balance for the right thing. So I think what has helped me is to understand different perspectives from different parents, which otherwise I would only get to know accidentally. Now there is a structured way where they can reach out to me, share their concern, not only with a vision of new ideas, but also with respect to the ongoing things and ops. So that has given me a lot of visibility. And I have seen that there are very, very reasonable ideas that come into picture. But there are also some very not so reasonable asks from the parents also. I can say that as a parent. So it gives me an opportunity to put both sides. So I'm able to reach out to the parents and tell them how we can add a rationale to our argument that we are putting to a school and bring a very structured conversation back. So it has really helping me to structure conversations from both ends to get some meaningful and productive outcomes.
And how is the school supporting in this communication being effective, sir?
So communication can play multiple roles. So first of all, what they have done recently, they have launched the app, Amrita Vidyalayam app. So now that has become a single source of communication, right? There are rarely, otherwise, unless this app was there, you will get some notifications through email, somebody will make WhatsApp groups, all those multiple channels. I believe it is now unified with this app. Of course, app is also the both improvement in the app and adoption by teachers and parents. This is an ongoing activity which happens with every tech, but I believe that is in very much in place. And there are one thing I really like is in the beginning of the academic year, the calendar is published that when you are going to have the parent teacher meeting, when you are going to have the holidays. And I have seen right now that the team is able to comply to that schedule. Right. So having that kind of a visibility also helps you plan things better. So from that perspective, I see there is a good proactive communication, and this app has also helped in bringing that ongoing operational communication or communication with respect to any curricular activity, or let's say some events, field trips, even homework. So all that comes in a single place with a repository. So that is improved. So tech is in place. And also I see the intent of the people having to communicate what your kid has learned over the last week, that learning report, everything. So I think it is good.
Got it. And apart from teaching lessons of Gita, what do you think the school offers the other major USP?
Let me tell you a lot of things. The way we celebrate the Indian festivals, Janmashtami, we see a good, functions where the kids are dressed up as Radha, Krishna, people are singing bhajans. I have not seen it anywhere in Bangalore. Everybody knows that 25th December is Christmas. How many of us know that there is also a Tulsi Pujan, which is done, right? How many schools conduct a ceremony where kids really do the Charan Puja of their gurus and their first gurus, which are their parents? So there is a ceremony that is organized, and it's a voluntary activity. So kids and parents can volunteer. Where kids, they are calling the school. Parents are made to sit on the chairs. Kids are made to sit in front of their parents on the ground. And they have to do the Charan Pujan. They have to worship their feet as their guru. And while this is happening, it's not only the kid who is doing it. Even I have seen the principal doing the feet worship, the Charan Pujan for her parents also. So I believe, where will you find it? So I think it's not about really the festivals or the puja. It is about the gratitude, that humility that brings, that get infused in the kids subconsciously, which really helps in the very long. See, you may not be a good professional. You need to be a very good human. Everything else will follow. If that is a philosophy I personally, really believe in, and I want my kid to be a first very good human being, then being a very good professional. I'm okay if she's not a very good professional. I want her to be a very good human being. So those are the things which are very, very different. So these are outside Gita chantings, right? So that's what happens.
That's an interesting take, sir. So as we say, no school is perfect. And there's some of the other feedback that you must be having for sure, especially as a parent and also a PSC member. So if you have to be a little critical and provide an honest feedback where you feel there is a scope for improvement for this, what would it be about?
So I think first of all, we have created a forum where these feedback will be provided, and we conduct monthly meetings. I believe there is a very good scope on how the school can really bring out their image in a more popular way. So I believe there is a world-class facility. On the facility itself, I believe there are a lot of improvements, and we are discussing on it. The good part is the management is taking a note of it, right? So on the infrastructure itself, there are some inputs. There are inputs in terms of how more legit and relevant trainings would be required for both admin staffs as well as the teachers. And there are two viewpoints over here. One, very important for me as a parent, and another viewpoint which is very important for the school as a management. which is I want to make an impression of the school, how I interact with the teachers or anybody, right? So that is one part. So that is how an impression of the school will be made. So I believe there has to be very organized program. So you are hiring, you need to ensure that there is a continuous improvement on that front. So that not only keeps the image of the school top notch, but also gives confidence to the parents a lot, right? So I believe this is an area, and this is true for any school, by the way. So areas on how we can continuously, so we are trying to apply certain kind of a Kaizen concept, right? How we can do. So that is one area. Another thing is, I believe a lot of sport participation that is required. I see a lot of kids participating in certain competition. I believe we can do more. So I'm sure this is all plan of the school. And trust me, it's a school, so I'm very sure they will do everything about the academics. That's why I try to focus on other things, which is like sports, co-curriculum. So I come from a school where we used to organize international events on culturals, on academics, on sports, like that, right? So somewhere, I would want this school to reach that kind of level.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining and sharing some of the great insights about the school. And I'm sure this will help for parents who are looking for best schools in Bangalore.
Thank you so much.